blockchain and quantum computers, and why it is different for the rest of the internet. Why is it impossible for existing blockchains to upgrade and protect 100% of their circulating supply, even if they succeed upgrading their signature scheme to a quantum-resistant signature scheme? The following challenges and impossibilities will be issues that are exclusive for blockchain due to its decentralized nature. Challenges and impossibilities. The need for consensus. The human factor. Lost addresses. These issues will be explained in the following video. Let's start at the beginning. To start the process of making a blockchain fully quantum resistant, you will need to implement a new, quantum-resistant signature scheme through a fork. For the fork to be successful, you would need to reach consensus amongst the nodes in the sense that you will need the majority of the nodes to upgrade. Consensus might be a problem, though. People running nodes have a choice. Do they upgrade or not? Although there will be no doubt that there will be an agreement on the desired result, consensus on the how and when part of the deal is usually where the things get to be an issue. Same with scaling now. We want it today, but how? Quantum resistance will be no different. Which signature scheme, how and when? There are different ways to get to a certain result, and reaching consensus on the specifics is never a fast and fluent process. If it will be managed to reach consensus, and the blockchain has upgraded to a quantum-resistant signature scheme, then we are not even halfway to a fully quantum-resistant blockchain. Your coins are not protected by a quantum-resistant key pair yet. Your coins are still stored on the address of an old public key. This means they are still accessible through the old public and private key. You will need to move your coins to a quantum-resistant address personally. Remember, only you know your private key. So no one but you, not even the developers, can move your coins. This goes for all users. So to protect all of the circulating supply from a quantum hack, all users need to use the new available quantum-resistant signature scheme to create their personal quantum-resistant key pair and move their coins personally. So if you have moved your coins to a new quantum-resistant address, is the job done then? Let's take a closer look. If not everyone has moved their coins to quantum-resistant addresses, then a certain percentage of the coins are still on vulnerable addresses. The ones who moved their coins will be sure that whatever happens, the amount of coins they own is secured. But what about the value? What if coins on old addresses get hacked? This would not be an exchange hack. This would be an actual blockchain being hacked. A drop in value would be an automatic response due to a possible dump, or simply market reacting to the news of a hack. In the other scenario, if a hacker would manage to stay unnoticed, he could double play the hack by slow selling, taking short positions, and then uncover the hack, throw the news in the shark pool, and double cash in a successful short. Chances a hack will have limited impact on the value will be slim. So to make the upgrade to a success, all coins need to be moved from old addresses to new quantum-resistant addresses. This means that for you as a user, to secure your value, you depend on the action of all other users. Security-wise, you depend on the need for other people to pay attention on developments, understand the necessity. Understand the need for personal action after BTC itself has already upgraded to quantum resistance, behave responsible, proactive and fast. This is the human factor. Compare this to central systems like banks, email, websites, etc. Ethera. These systems can change the signature scheme without the need for consensus. You wouldn't need to migrate anything. It all happens behind your user interface. And if you would need a new password, they will be able to send you this because they know how to reach you. And what if a bank messes up and gets robbed? Ever heard of the dump of dollar value due to a bank robbery? For centralized systems, it will be a totally different ball game. The next issue are the lost addresses. Every running blockchain has them, people who lost their private keys and don't have access to their coins anymore. We know now that if you lost your key, no one can help you. Your coins are lost. If we apply this given to the subject of quantum resistance, we can conclude that these coins can never be brought to the safety of a quantum-resistant address. These will stay vulnerable to quantum hacks because they cannot be moved away from the old key pairs. In the case of Bitcoin, old addresses didn't exist out of hashed public keys. These used to be full private keys. So these are vulnerable to quantum hacks too. The most famous of all lost addresses are the Satoshi coins, which is about 1 million Bitcoin. But there is more. A total of 20% of all Bitcoin is estimated to be on lost addresses. These will never be moved to the safety of quantum-resistant addresses. The percentage might be lower for other existing blockchains, but there will be a percentage of lost addresses for all blockchains that are not quantum-resistant from the start. The unprotected coins will form a risk for the value of all existing coins. It's pretty much an impossible problem to solve without creating other problems. You could try to create a deadline to afterwards burn the leftovers. The problem is, however, that there is no way to determine if an amount of Bitcoin is lost or if the owner has not moved them in a while and is simply holding them. Burning assets would be unprecedented. Is there a reasonable amount of time that would hold up in court if we're talking about burning someone's assets without any preset conditions? There is no way of knowing for sure which are long-term hodlers and which have lost their key. How will you determine which to burn without risking burning people's assets? That's a huge legal risk. So it's higher risk of brand and value damage due to risk of hacks or risk of burning wrong funds. The time factor. The longer implementation is postponed, the bigger the risk that another factor will become an issue. Time. All the steps take time, and they have to be taken consecutively. The selection of the signature scheme. Implementation having the majority of the nodes upgrade. How to inform all users to migrate their coins after an update. How to deal with lost addresses. What is a realistic rollout time frame to get to the point where you have a maximum percentage of quantum-resistant circulating supply? There is no reason to be dismissive about this subject. Every credible organization in the field of cryptography has a message with the same content. So, prepare for the upcoming quantum-resistant transition. National Academy of Sciences. Even if the threat might materialize later. Prepare now. NIST. There is unlikely to be a simple drop-in replacement for our current public key cryptography algorithms. This transition needs to take place well before any large-scale quantum computers are built. PQ Crypto. Figure these things out before somebody builds a quantum computer. To summarize, challenges and impossibilities. Consensus human factor. Lost addresses. Time factor, specialty of code, updating all supporting systems like wallets, etc. Ethera, after which exchanges will need to resist. For existing non-QR projects, a realistic timeframe should be made. But for new projects, it makes sense to start out QR. QRL eliminated all these issues by going QR from the start. Now it builds on a QR foundation and adds functionality from there instead of needing to work backwards later. QR notarization, basic token transactions, on-chain messages, AP for exchanges, fully open source, KIP system. June hard fork. Multi-signature addresses. deterministic address support, extended message transaction functionality, decentralized on-chain pull support, backwards incompatible state upgrades and optimization. After that, smart contracts, proof of stake variation, quantum resistant ephemeral messaging,